Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. We're the Road to Glory podcast. I'm Juliet.
And I'm Cecilia. And for those watching on YouTube, you can obviously tell that we have a special guest today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ava Dobson. I'm racing in GB4, and I recently just did the wild card for Miami in F1 Academy.
Great. We love to have you here. Obviously, your first driver interview, so it's very exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I think I'll start off with some questions from my side, and then we'll pass over to Cecilia afterwards. But my first question is, I'm always curious about drivers, but do you have any pre-race rituals?
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty religious, so I always pray before I get in and stuff. Do my cross, how it goes. That's really my thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, we do our warm up and stuff.
Yeah, because I was watching the F1 Academy show on Netflix, and a lot of drivers put their left gloves on first and get in from the left side of the car. And obviously I'm not a driver myself, so what is superstitious about the left-hand side that a lot of drivers were saying this? Do you agree that you have to get in on the left-hand side?
Yeah, I get in on the left side hand of the car too. And I put my right glove on before my left one, or I don't know if it's I don't want to say OCD because that's not the right term for it, but it kind of is in a way. If I don't put my right glove on, it's gonna be a bad session, so I have to take it off and do it again. It's really weird.
Like mild OCD.
Yeah, it drives me insane because then I think about it.
Yeah. Okay. And then also, do you have a favorite F1 team, or did you have one growing up?
Yeah. Actually, believe it or not, I just started getting the F1 a couple years ago. I grew up watching NASCAR and stuff. That was actually originally going to be my route in my motorsport career. Obviously, I got the offer to do open wheel in 23 when I was pretty young, so it all just kind of switched. But my favorite team this year, I would say, it's tough. Maybe I really like Oscar, so I would go with McLaren.
Okay, well, I'm a McLaren girly myself, so you're in safe hands.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
Yeah, I also only got into F1 pretty recently because I feel like in South Africa there's not too much of a motorsport culture. There is a little bit, so I kind of had to find it by myself because also my family are not racing family at all. Was your family interested in racing or not?
Yeah, my dad raced cup cars when he was younger, so oval track stuff. And then actually, believe it or not, my aunt wanted to, or my first cousin, I should say, I should call her my aunt. She wanted to be a race car driver, but my aunt said no. And so, I don't know, maybe it's a genetic, I didn't know it came from both sides, so.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
And then I have a little bit of a silly question here. But if you had to live with 3 other drivers, who would they be and why? Your friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be anyone else or just other race car drivers do you think seem funny or cool.
Maybe Nina Gaidman.
Yes?
I saw her Instagram story of her room, and I was like, well, do my room. Hello.
Yeah.
I love that. Maybe Ava. I can't pronounce her last name. Forgive me, Ava.
Yeah, that's the same on our podcast. You are in safe hands here because we cannot pronounce anyone's last name.
I know. Well, she's Greek. I should be able to pronounce her name. As a Greek person, I should, but I never. I just left it alone. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'd choose peace today. I'm not gonna do that.
No, not gonna butcher the name.
Yeah, I'll feel bad.
We know what you're talking about, so it's fine.
Yeah. And then maybe Joanne, because we got along pretty well.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, she's really nice. So
yeah, because
that would be a fun time.
Yeah, you spent the weekend with them, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you only got one race, which we're very mad about over here.
Yeah. No, I know.
And then I also have another silly question next, because I moved from South Africa to the UK. So I came over and they drive on the same side in South Africa and the UK. But obviously, you moved over to Europe and they drive UK, drive on a different side. Do you find it weird when you're here driving on like the wrong side of the road?
So I actually don't have my license.
Yes, but I mean like when you're in the car.
No, yeah, it is weird. Because when I come back, I do driver's ed, which is
Okay.
like a learn because you have to
Yeah.
legally do it through my state. So sometimes I'll be driving and I like when I'm turning left, I'll just go on the wrong side of the road. They're like, "You're on the wrong side of the road." I'm like, "Oh my God."
Oh.
It's like embarrassing. I'm like, "Ooh, sorry."
That's very interesting
It like
because
messes me up. I don't know why.
yeah, because even when I'm like a pedestrian and I'm in Europe, I don't know which side of the road to look when I'm crossing because I'm like, I don't know which
I
side
know.
these
I always
cars.
look both ways because I don't trust myself.
Yeah, because I've almost been run over many a time. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
stop, look, it's fine.
Yeah, it can get scary though if you like forget which side of the road to be on, honestly. So
I know. Yeah.
yeah, as a Danish person though, the right side of the road is the right. So I'm also
Very
like
good.
scared when I'm in the UK. Like I don't even drive myself, but just being in the car with someone else, you know, this is wrong.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Yeah, starting off with some of the questions I have prepared because it fits well with talking about the whole, obviously you come from the US, now you've moved to the UK. How was that like, obviously having to like move kind of across the world at such an early age to like move on with your career, kind of like take it to the next level?
I'm currently in America right now. I've been for a couple
Mm.
weeks. Because this is like my home is America.
Yeah.
But obviously I had that long stint where I had to live in the UK basically.
Mm.
It was pretty interesting because I've never lived by myself.
Oh.
Obviously I was 16. I was kind of like lost. So I was
Yeah.
calling my mom and my dad. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, hello.
Oh,
My
I
mom did
completely get
come
that.
and help me because it was like sad. It was like really sad. But
Yeah.
I learned a lot of like, be self-sufficient and stuff.
Yeah.
But just normal stuff you learn when you like move out for the first time, I guess. But it was really weird.
Yeah. Just happening a bit earlier than probably for most people,
Yeah.
obviously.
So do you like now? Do you live kind of between, but your home base is back in America?
Yeah, so when I go to the UK, since I don't have a visa, which I might have to get one, just because I'm there so much and
Yeah.
I can't trust myself, especially with everything going on. So I might need to do that. But I've been in the UK longer than I've been in America this year. So,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go back for another month and probably in July, most likely, because schedule gets so busy.
Yeah.
But yes, I live in America, but I go to the UK a lot because of GB4, because
Yeah.
GB4 is like a UK thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll probably go outside to visit like other countries because I can't stay in one place for too long
No,
just because
Okay.
of like the visa thing, you know what I mean? So
no.
yeah, I'd be
That
mindful.
that makes sense. Obviously, now that you're saying that you are kind of in between the UK and the US and other countries a lot, how does it work with like now you're obviously only 17 with school? Is that all online or do you have like a physical school you go to?
For my junior year of high school, I did online,
Mm.
just because it's just so much easier. Like, it's not that I'm not a bad student. I like school and stuff, which you never hear anyone say. I genuinely like to learn. Um, so when I was in school, like obviously like the classes were more like variety and
Mm.
I more preferred my classes when I went to, public school. But doing online school, it's just so much easier because I can do it whenever I want, wherever I want. The teachers are more mindful, like they get it, because you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that
it was
makes
so
a lot
much
of
more
sense.
helpful. And I
Yeah,
didn't have to deal with people at school because I was so draining. They all know it. They all know it. They know how draining they are. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
no, not having to deal with too many people, then that's great.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to like focus more on the important things, I guess.
Exactly.
So obviously you have spoken about driving in GP4 this year, full time. Do you have a favorite racetrack that is on the GP4 calendar?
Yeah. In the beginning of the year, it was Alton.
Yeah.
Now I say otherwise. I think For me, it'd actually be Donington. I just feel like we like figured out the track pretty well. Like I feel like I'm pretty fast there, you know what I mean? It just all
Yeah.
kind of clicked at Donington.
Yeah.
Alton Park just didn't have the luck for me, so now I don't like it anymore. Because I'm
No.
petty. And, you know,
Cool.
I'm holding a grudge, so.
Yeah, everything becomes more enjoyable when you're actually like good at it. I can very
Yeah,
much relate
exactly.
to that. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. Also, like, me and Juliet have never been to a GB4 race, so like we're considering going to one. So like if you had like recommend a race we should go to, which one would you pick?
Oh, that's a good one. Silverstone's always pretty cool, you know what I mean? If you've never been to Silverstone, because it's just such an iconic track.
Yeah,
Or
definitely is.
Donington at the end of the year, because it's a
Yeah.
finale race and everyone drives nuts. It's
Yeah.
like nothing
Noted.
left to lose. We're all gonna like kill each other. Yeah, it's gonna be mental in Donington. I can see it right now.
Yeah.
I can feel
Yeah.
it.
Oh God, we'll
Very
note
normal.
that down for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your pick, whatever
Yeah,
is your
we'll
vibe.
remember that. Yeah. I also can imagine like all the drivers having like nothing to lose and everything to gain in the final race
Yeah,
weekend. So
exactly.
yeah, that must be insane, honestly. But then beyond obviously racing in GP4, as you also mentioned, you were the wildcard driver in Miami. And so like our next question is basically like, what was your whole experience being the wildcard driver there, racing on a weekend this alongside the whole like all the F1 teams?
Yeah, it was really cool. That was like the second F1 race I've ever been to in my life, because I went to Vegas before, but that was
Yeah.
kind of whatever.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it was really cool because, you know, they let us go into like the F1 paddock, and, you know, I got to meet all the Morgan Stanley people, which, you know, Morgan Stanley being my sponsor was like really amazing. You know what I mean? Like it's like one of
Yeah.
it's like one of the biggest like investment banks, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
they're a pretty big private bank.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So that's just like a really big deal for me to, you know, to represent them. And, you know, I got to meet them and they were all incredible. So I think overall it was a really fun weekend. It was just bad luck. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hoping to get rid of that bad luck soon.
It was insanely unlucky. Everything pretty much obviously with the rain in qualifying,
Oh.
so like shorting
Yeah,
that
one lap of
down.
qualifying, I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like there couldn't possibly any more pressure on you
I
than
know.
that. Yeah, that's insane. Also, like obviously with the cars, there's still F4 cars, but like how different are they to like the GB4 cars?
Yeah, so they do feel a little slower than the GB4 car for some reason. I don't know if it's because the track is bigger, because, you know, we race on smaller tracks than GB4, besides
Yeah.
Silverstone. But I do feel like they're a little slower, which is totally okay. The braking is a lot different. The brakes are a lot longer than the GB4 car, so you have to apply a lot more pressure into the braking. Like in GB4, we do like 50 maximum, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
Like almost half of what you do in like a real car. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's pretty similar. And then like in that F1 Academy car, you're doing like in the last corner in Miami, I was doing like 120 bar, which is like
Oh.
hard pressure. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was pretty different. The aero is pretty different. There's not much aero compared to you know, other F4 cars.
Yeah.
The handling was a little bit different. You know, they have different rules for their cars, you know, to have regulations and stuff, but
Yeah.
you have to adapt to that stuff, which is difficult as a wildcard driver. But you know, we all try our best.
Yeah. And also like you did really well. Like I was really impressed,
Thank
honestly.
you.
We definitely hope also like obviously that possibly hopefully you'll be on the grid next year. Is that
Yeah.
like your aim to like get a full-time seat for next year in F1 Academy?
Yes, definitely. That's the, you know, the next step in my career that we are aiming for next year.
We will be cheering for you. You've
Thank
got
you. Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely will. Also, like, it's just so unlucky, obviously, that you didn't get as much time to showcase what you can do, because I'm sure, like, if only we had had that second race as well, which just rained away.
This time, I tell everyone this, I'm like, the second race would have been so good. I promise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been insane.
We fixed the car, like, everything was perfect. It would have just been phenomenal. I just wasn't meant to be,
No,
No,
it
it's
wasn't.
such a shame. Yeah,
and that's okay.
yeah, I'm sure you'll get the opportunity again.
Thank you.
Obviously, with the race being cancelled, but then technically rescheduled to Canada. Is it right that I think I saw somewhere that if you had like gone to Canada and like done the race you were supposed to in Miami, would that have like meant that you had done like a season in F1 Academy because you had done like 2 weekends? Is that a thing?
Yes, that would be
Yeah.
why, and that's exactly, we had gotten, an option if we wanted to do something like that. And of course we said no because we don't want to,
Yeah.
do a complete season in just 2 races.
No, that's
So
insane,
we can have the
honestly.
full ability for, if we get the seat next year or the year after, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's crazy that they count 2 race weekends as a full season. Because, like, in F2 and F3, I know it's not technically, but you can, like, join halfway through, and then when you do your full season the next year, they still call it your rookie season. So it's just, I don't agree with it. That's all I'd say.
yeah, I think it's just to give, like, all the girls an opportunity, you know what I mean? So, you don't feel like, so like the same person, because the same person could do the entire year as a wildcard driver.
True.
That is
Yeah.
true. That's the true thing that can happen. But, it doesn't because it would, count as a season. People don't want that. And, I
No.
think Susie wants to give, everyone an opportunity to be there because, we all deserve to be there.
Absolutely.
You know what I
That
mean?
makes a
So
lot of sense.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just unlucky, obviously, that it like
Yeah, it does
it's
suck.
yeah, because it does make sense like why the rule is there, but then it's
Yeah.
just like unlucky that it applies in this way
I
when you
know,
have a
yeah.
race cancelled.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
It's fine. You'll get plenty of races next year, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
Also, talking about like hope obviously are hoping to see you on the grid of F1 Academy next year, but like one of the fan questions that we got in was like, what is your dream circuit to race at? Because then I would cooperate into like, what track do you hope F1 Academy will maybe add in the coming season? Because obviously they haven't revealed their calendar yet. So if you got your pick, what would your dream circuit be to race at?
I think for right now, my dream circuit would definitely be Spa. I've always wanted to race there since I was younger, because I would
Yeah.
play iRacing when I was younger, and I'd be like, this is so cool. I want to go.
Yeah.
And growing up, I see like all my friends from America, like moving up, and they get to race there, and I'm like, I literally hate you right now. Like, I don't like you.
Yeah,
I'm
that
very
should be me.
jealous.
Yeah.
I was so jealous. Like, I was like,
Yeah,
but
that's a
definitely
great
my favorite
choice.
track by far. I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a great track. It was also like the first race that I attended a couple of years back. It's such an amazing place.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my list of races to go to. It's like, it's really up there, so.
It's just so cool. Like, I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's so iconic. As long as it doesn't rain though, like back in, was it
Yes.
2021, like the whole F1 weekend just cancelled,
Rain,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that wouldn't happen. Another question that we got was obviously with you changing into racing in Europe, you obviously raced in America before that. How do you feel like the difference is between racing in America and racing in Europe?
Yeah, so at least just from my experiences, I feel like it's very professional in Europe. It's very different from Europe to America. I'm not quite sure why.
No.
But I just think because in America we don't have that many like series like, Europe does because there's so many countries in Europe and all the
Yeah.
cool tracks and stuff. Obviously, like I loved my time racing in America. I'm very grateful for all of it. But I felt more accepted, especially with the team I'm racing with this year. Like I feel like they actually believe in me. They see my ability. They know I can do well. And if you consider it, I don't have much seat time just coming into GB4, especially because my season got cut last year. And then, a lot of financial stuff happened after that. So it was just a big dilemma. And, I had an injury for a long time. So I think just coming into this year, they really, and obviously, like I did the GB4 races last year, like 2 of them, Silverstone and Donington, which was a good experience for me. It was a little weird at first, but I think just as a driver, I've changed a lot, like mentally coming into this year. And, I'm just feeling more confident. And I feel like it all just comes from, having the right people around you. So I'm beyond grateful for everyone at Arden and at Verdi.
They sound like a great team, honestly.
They really are.
Also, like, obviously, now we have kind of touched upon how you got into racing, obviously with your dad being involved in racing as well. But like, is there a specific person? This is a fan question, by the way. Is there
Yeah.
like a person that was your biggest inspiration growing up that like impacted your decision to start racing?
Yeah. My dad was really the one who pushed me at first. Obviously, like I said before, we watched a lot of NASCAR. I grew
Mm.
up loving Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski, my favorites.
Yeah,
Still my favorites to this day. I love them both.
yeah,
But I thought, I was like, oh, that's really cool, like NASCAR. Like, I want to be in a NASCAR driver. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, I always, because obviously I grew up watching that for so long, and I still do.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, my dad was pushing me to go that route too. But my dad, this is real. Like, it was at first my dad's dream. Like,
Mm.
he wanted me to be a race car driver. Because, how parents, they like to
Mm.
push because something they couldn't
Yeah.
have been. And, I'm
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
cool with that. And then, I
Yeah.
started to love it when I was younger.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what? I don't need to do it for you. I do it for myself now. But that only took not a very long time. Like, when I say this, like, I first did rental karting and then like regular go-karting. When I got into regular go-kart, that's when I started like loving it for me.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Like it became your passion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great like progression, also like a natural progression. Obviously, I don't also think like you wouldn't have been here racing now if it hadn't been like coming from yourself, like a
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
drive to do it.
Yeah, it must take a lot of dedication.
It does. You really, and people don't realize it, and especially when, all our lives are on social media, but everything on social media isn't real. You only
No.
see 5% of me, especially because I'm not a huge social media person. I'm trying to get better at it. I
Yeah.
bought like a nice camera and everything. I'm gonna lock in and do well. But you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, Bianca does like a good thing at it. Like, she kind of like shows like herself a little bit more, and no one really goes to like the full depth of what it actually feels like. Obviously, people are like, well, you're a girl, you're more emotional. And you're like, yeah, I am emotional, and I don't care. I'll cry as
Yeah.
much as I want to. I'll cry whenever I
Yes.
want. I'm upset. I'll be upset. Leave me alone. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
It's also
Yeah.
good to show your emotions. You don't want to bottle that up. That comes with its own
no.
issues.
I know what it feels like to bottle up emotions, and you know what I mean? Like, you can't,
Mm.
it's not mentally good for you. Like, it's not
No.
healthy.
No.
And that's something I experienced a lot last year, especially after the crash. Like, it's just, I realized, like, this isn't okay. And then, like, later last year, you know what I mean? I started to, like, I don't want to say, like, I healed from it, but I kind of did. Like, I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Like, I need to figure out, like, myself, because, I low-key
Mm.
sucked in GB4. I'm not gonna lie. I did not do very good. And I knew something had to change. I was like,
Mm.
something needs to change. And so, I started, doing testing with the other teams in Europe and stuff. I had a couple chances to practice with Roden. And, they really opened my eyes that I can be way better than where I am just because of my mental state.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then earlier this year, I did testing with Pippa Man in GT4, which is my
Okay.
first time ever in like a closed cockpit car, which is really cool, by the way.
Mm.
Hopefully I
Yeah.
get to do more.
Yeah.
But she really just like opened my eyes, like, you have to be right mentally.
Mm.
You can't like hide everything away forever. So, I started being more open with like my managers and like my dad. And I think that just really helped me like grow and like feel like I'm gonna be okay. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yes.
So, it's a long process. And I'll go through it again. Every driver does. We all go through
Yeah.
the highs and lows of racing. There's more lows than highs, but that's what make the highs feel great. So
Exactly.
it's normal.
That's so true. Also, like, obviously now you spoke about the crash. Is that still something you feel like you had a mental barrier kind of from the crash, or something like you've moved past, if you can ever really do that
Yeah.
fully?
Yeah, I think this year I've been totally okay.
Mm.
I don't ever think about it anymore. I actually can't remember it, which is kind of weird. I couldn't remember it before when it happened and there on out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like a PTSD response. And people want to go
Yeah.
PTSD. I'm like, yeah, I got into a severe car crash. Like, hello, yes,
Yeah,
PTSD is real,
literally.
guys. I promise.
Yeah, it's a big,
Like,
scary event, obviously. Yeah.
like sometimes if I go to like a hilly track, like especially last year, I'd kind of like I just like hold my breath. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Like, especially when I got back into the car for the first time, with VRD in USF 2000. I wasn't scared, but it sat here, and I, like, with it, like, I don't know, it just, like, appeared in my head, and I was just kind of like, I need to get this. I knew it was going to take a while. I wasn't scared. It was just, like, a mental block. Like, it was kind of like, it's like the devil talking to you, you know what I mean? Like, controlling your bad thoughts and stuff. So I had to, obviously, I learned how to get over that and stuff. You know, being in the car more definitely helped me a lot. Having the right people around me definitely pushed me out of there. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have to push yourself out of it. And, you know, my dad tells me all the time, he's like, when you really are dedicated to something, you have to, it will challenge you in ways you've never thought it would. And that's when you learn to be, that's where you find yourself, and like, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I become, you know what I mean? Like, that's how you grow as a driver,
Exactly.
definitely. Like, all of these successful drivers you see have probably gone through some horrible stuff, you know, to get to that point. You know, we all work incredibly hard every day to, you know, be successful as much as we can be.
Yeah, it's a part of the process for sure, like going through the rough patches as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, the human brain is amazing for, because obviously you wouldn't want to experience that horrible crash again. So it just blocks it out and says, you don't remember that. It's crazy that we're able to do that.
I know, it's really weird actually, because the night it happened, I was trying to, like, the day of, like, so I was going to bed that night. I had lots of back pain actually, which brings up into an injury I currently have now. But I would, like, wait, I'd try to, like, I'd fall asleep, but as, like, soon as I, like, actually am asleep, like, my body was, like, going to that first stage of sleep, I would, like, jolt awake. And then, like, my first thing would be, like, dreaming of is just, like, hitting the guy, and then I, like, wake up.
Oh my
And it
gosh.
happened, like, 100 times in the middle of the night. I was like, I literally can't sleep.
That's
And then
horrible.
it never happened again. And then I can't, like, remember it.
Yeah.
I can't remember being in the scenario. I don't remember much of that weekend. It's really, like, weird, honestly.
Yeah, that's wild, but like probably your brain's way of coping with it, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It's coping, for sure. We needed it.
Yeah, would you consider that being like the biggest challenge you've faced in like your career so far?
Yeah, definitely the biggest challenge I've ever faced in my life.
Yeah.
And it probably will be for years and years on out. It was considered, people were comparing it to a guy named Billy. I forget his last name. It was at Donington in British F4, and it was the same exact crash, except going uphill at Donington, coming out of turn 4, I think, the fast right-hander, going up into, like, the blind corner almost. And he actually had lost both of his legs. So people thought, you know, it was way worse with me, because it was the same situation going uphill. I couldn't see, you know, there's 2 cars in front of me blocking me. So people thought, like, I was severely injured. Someone said I died, and I commented, and I was like, I'm still alive. Like, hey, guys.
Yeah, this is not
Like,
you from the afterlife. You're still here.
like, I'm okay, I promise.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that people were, like, comparing it to that made me realize how, like, bad that crash was. And, like, even other drivers were like, oh my gosh, like, that, I've never seen anything like that in my life. You know what I mean? And it's definitely one of the worst, you know, junior series crashes. And, you know, that's just insane to even think of that. And, you know, I hate to say this, but most people, because my dad asked me, he said, like, I 100% understand you. I know what you're going through. Like, you know, he's always there for me. He's like, if you don't want to continue because of that, I 100% get it. Like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, actually, can we go back out for race 2? Well, Ava, you can't. There's no car. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. There's no spare. Fair enough.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh my gosh. So I just, and that kind of goes in with, like, my whole branding as well. Like, the fearless thing kind of comes from that, because I had to come back and realize that I'm not scared. And obviously now, you know, I'm perfectly fine. But it was a really, you know, tough thing for me to get over. Just took forever. But
Yeah, I mean, motorsports is like we think it's so safe, but it's actually like it's terrifying, and crashes do happen, and injuries happen. And it's just you must feel so glad that you were fine.
yeah, no, definitely, and especially because we all run a Tatus chassis. And because if you were in a regular car, I would have died. 100% dead instantly. Like, that's real. So the
Yeah.
fact that I got up, I passed out, but I got up out of the car. I was perfectly fine. Like, I was walking. Obviously, I was like, oh my God, like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I was like freaked out. I was like, where am I? Like, hello? like,
Yeah.
like that's normal, like whatever. But like the tub itself is so like it's like you know what the tub is, right? Like it's like where the driver sits.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's like all this around to the front.
Yeah.
It's like a little box that you sit in. Um, but it's incredibly safe. And the tub itself is literally like bulletproof. Like you can't break it. It's almost like impossible to break it. My tub at that, like after the crash, I'd have to find a video. It was only dented. It wasn't cracked. Because when they crack and when they're dented, they're bad. They've gone bad, and you have to like dispose it.
Yes.
And usually you think it'd be like, I thought it was going to be really bad because the tub is like what makes almost the chassis so expensive. It's because of how safe it is. I thought, I was like, oh, that thing is so like cracked and like destroyed. I went and looked at it, it was only dented in like a little spot.
That's crazy. That just
I'm
shows
like,
like how strong it is.
yeah, like Tatis really did their thing with those cars, and obviously they were super like, we're so glad you're okay, and I thank them a lot, for making a safe car. You know what I mean? And obviously we've seen lots of crashes, throughout the years with the new Tatis chassis, and everyone's been okay.
Yeah.
But like the development of cars, especially like years ago, like people, have died, and like they clearly needed to step up and like fix that, because although motorsport is dangerous, every time you go out onto the track, you're risking your life.
Yeah.
And that's true. And my mom's probably gonna be mad that I said that. I don't care.
No.
But it's
But it's
true.
a
Like you go
fact.
out there to
Yeah.
fight, you go out there to win. You know what I mean? Like you go out and put your life on the line, and that's just how it goes. That's what we choose to do with our lives. So be it. But Tatis does an amazing job with like the chassis and stuff and keeping us really safe. And obviously all the rules. I'm not gonna go out there and crash everyone. You can't do the same to me.
No.
FIA does, whatever.
Yeah.
GB4, USF, we all have rules that apply to that. So
Yeah.
it's
You're
all
not
just
just
really.
lawless going out driving like crazy.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
No, it's great as you say that we see like the development of safety getting better and better pretty much with every new car they make. Obviously, you also like mentioned in the beginning of the episode that you are religious as well. Did you feel like in the moment that there was something like bigger helping you out, kind of keeping you
Oh,
safe?
yes.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, I always pray for. I'm like, if anything happens, just keep me safe, whatever goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like weird. Like, I told my media guy at the time, I was like, someone was watching over me, because there's no way I got out of that perfectly. I was unharmed. Not like I had like a sprained finger and a concussion. Like, I thought I was gonna break like a leg, because I was sitting in the grass, like in the car. I saw everything everywhere, and I just woken back up, because you only pass out for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Or if it's not severe. So I woke up and I saw him in the grass, and I'm like, and I started moving my legs. I'm like, oh God, please don't let my legs be broken.
Yeah.
And I was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
pretty crazy.
believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So I
No.
definitely feel like, God was like, girl, you're good. I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
But
thanks.
I'm looking after you.
I was like, thank you.
Actually, we don't have that many questions left, but like another fan question is now obviously we're talking about the different race cars that you've driven in, but like, do you have like a dream car in general that you would love to drive in?
Yeah, of course everyone says F1, but if
Yeah.
we're being like more, not realistic, but more like, what's my like next thing? Because I'm always looking towards the next step, like what can I go to next? It's definitely GB3. I don't know why. I've just been like obsessed. I'm like, I love it. I want to drive it. Like,
Yeah.
let me in. I might test. I might test later in the year. I really hope I
Okay.
get to. That'd be such a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
I did like a little, not test, but it was just to like help the team out. They're having some car issues,
Mm.
but I was like, I love this car. Like, can I like go do a real test? So
Yeah.
I really hope I get the chance to go do that. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. That would make a lot of sense. Also, like being the next step, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a like longer path towards wherever you're gonna end up in racing, which I'm sure will be great. We actually have one more silly question, I guess. Depends on what you answer. But a fan wanted to know, what is the one thing that you can't live without?
One thing I can't live without? Oh god. Either my like emotional attachment water bottle
Oh.
or my stuffed monkey is more
Yes.
realistic.
Yeah.
His name's
Yeah.
Buddy. I could show you him.
Yes.
I've
Oh,
had
he's
him
so
since I was
cute.
born.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Oh,
I haven't washed him in like 4 years.
Yeah. That's
no, but that
fine.
My
always
mom,
happens.
Yeah.
I know, and people are like, "That's so weird." I'm like, "You're weird." Like,
I
Mm.
still have, actually, I'll show her. I still have my childhood Teddy as well. And
yeah, it's
she comes with
normal.
me
Yeah.
everywhere. Like, look how cute. She's got a
Yeah,
cute little
Yeah.
purple dress on. And,
Mm.
you know, it's just, it's emotion. And, like, growing up is hard. I need something, please.
I know. Can I have like an emotional attachment to something? Like, hello.
Exactly.
Besides
Yeah.
my water bottle, because I don't know why I'm obsessed with it. It comes with me everywhere. Like, I'm always
Yeah.
carrying it like this, and if someone touches it, I'm like, get away from my water bottle. Like, it's like
It's your child. Like,
aggressive.
don't touch my child.
Yeah,
It's
like,
important
I
to
don't know
stay
why. It's just
hydrated.
like aggressive.
So,
Yeah.
But no,
Oh,
he's
that's great.
definitely my. I can't. I
emotion.
bring him everywhere. Everywhere. I don't care if anyone judges me. I don't care. I'm
Oh.
how it goes. This is like the third one, I
Mm.
think, because my mom bought like 4. Because she knew I was gonna be like obsessed with it. She knew. She
Yeah.
was like, I better buy 4. And my
Yeah.
little cousin now has a monkey, and she's obsessed
Aw.
with it. And they only bought 1. I'm like, you guys are gonna regret it so bad. Like,
Yeah.
trust me. I
Yeah.
like when I was younger, I'd lose my mind if I lost my monkey. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where'd he go? And I like cry and freak
Yeah.
out. I'm like, oh, where did he go? I'm like 7,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But no, he has to come everywhere with me. And he's probably a walking infestation because I haven't watched him in 4 years, but
But that's fine.
he's happy. He's
Yeah.
living his life.
He's living his best life, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's a
But
world traveler.
He
Yeah.
is.
He really
Like,
is. And he's going to be. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
He's gonna see more of the world than like most normal people will. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
good for
exactly.
him.
And I was like, why not?
Yeah. I also like that is so real, like having an attachment to like something like that. I also like because I also have one. I'm not gonna find it now because it's kind of further away. But like literally, there was a time where I was living in an apartment at the time, and like the apartment above ours was like burning, and my mom went back into our apartment to get that stuffed animal. Like literally.
Yeah.
So like dedication to stuffed animals here.
Yeah, it
Yes.
means a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
it
safe
really does.
community here. We
Yeah,
accept
exactly.
you.
It needs to be. No one talks about it.
I
No.
know. Everyone
I feel
hides
like it's
it.
so
I'm like,
normal.
we
Yeah.
all have it. Thank you very much. We should be proud
Mm.
about it.
Yeah, like why not?
Mm. Yeah,
My
people
number
think that other
1.
people don't have it, but actually they all do. Like that's
They
the real
definitely
thing.
do. They just don't like. They think it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's not
true.
embarrassing.
No, obviously not. Okay, do we have any more questions? Actually,
No,
Juliet, do you
I think that's it. Yeah.
Also, my camera cut out at some point. That's why I disappeared and like changed into
Oh,
another
okay.
camera. I guess a final question is obviously, as of recording, the F1 race is on. Like, are you missing the F1 race now to like be here? Like, will you watch it
Yeah.
afterwards? Do you have it going on somewhere, like playing?
Well, I have to leave for my flight, but
Yeah, so you
I
don't have
haven't
time to
even
watch it.
packed yet.
Oh
Oh
my
God. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
definitely
very
let
like
you go
type B,
soon then.
like
Yeah.
pack like an hour before I leave. So
Yeah.
I guess you do
Other than
travel
that.
a lot, so you're used to it.
Yeah, I don't feel like the immense pressure. I still get anxiety if I'm not there like 3 hours before.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know why. I just feel like
I'm like, the
miss my
plane's
flight.
gonna leave without me.
Yeah. It was because
Yeah.
my dad is like a procrastinator. I kind of am. It depends what it is. So I'm just lazy
Yeah.
sometimes. But like, I can't be like that. Like he's
No.
like, he called me one time. He was like, I was like, hey, where are you? Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, because he works in Florida, and he was like, oh, I'm going to Florida. I was like, oh, okay. Like, when's your flight? He's like, well, it's boarding already. And I was like, where are you? I'm
Yeah.
driving to Chicago. Why are you not at
Okay.
I'm like, well, you're gonna miss it. He's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I might have to book another flight.
Okay.
There's no sense of urgency, no care, no work. I'm
No.
like,
That's great.
Completely
you
chilled.
deliberately booked this flight to go, and then you just don't care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
like, come
that's
on,
good. You,
dude.
it's good
I'm the
that you
opposite. I
didn't like
can't.
get that. Yeah, no. Being a race driver, I feel like imagine if you like missed your plane for like something important. That would
I
not be
know. I
great.
was like, dude, hello. Like,
Yeah,
you're going to work. Like, can we have
yeah,
like a little? Let's get going.
You
Either
gotta
have
be
time.
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
He
always
missed
that
that
one
flight.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my dad. I
yeah.
love him a lot, though.
Yes.
Bless him.
Thank you so much for coming and for joining us and for being on the podcast. It's been so lovely to have you and to get a little insight into your brain and your career so far.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was really nice to like obviously getting to know you more because it can be difficult with like a lot of different drivers just seeing like the social media and like seeing them race, but like getting a feeling of who you actually are. I love that. I love your personality, honestly.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, hopefully we will see you maybe at like a GB4 race later this year if we can
Yeah.
plan that with
Yeah.
our schedules.
Yeah. I'm
but
telling
yeah,
you,
we-
Donington's gonna be exciting.
it's noted.
Championships,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Gets out of hand real quick.
We have to remember that. Honestly, we should try and plan to actually be there. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see you there then.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Thank you for everyone watching. Obviously, we hope to bring more interviews in the future. Also with Ava, that would be great. Maybe in person at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't follow us already on our social media accounts, please do. We are Road to Glory pod or podcast pretty much everywhere. Links are down below as well, because you would be missing out, because obviously for this interview we had some fan questions being sent to us. So like in the future, if you follow us, you could get some
Submit your questions. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But that was it for today's episode. So hope everyone enjoyed, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.